I mean, just try to relax your mind, relax your thoughts, and just go through preparation just like you always would, and take it day by day.
You said so this week you act like you're the starter until you're not.
Yeah, and I think that's what you always do. And I think even when you're not, and you're not, you still try to put yourself in that mindset and do those things anyway. So,
Joe, what do you view your role is helping the team finish strong, even though playoffs are out of the picture?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest challenge for us is just our mindset and how we, stay in the moment. You don't want to look ahead to Sunday or beyond. You want to just stay locked into the day that you're in, and that's going to give you the best chance to just get the most work done and get a good day's work in. The last thing you want to do is go out there today and, nobody's focused, and, you let a day slip by. So just stay in the moment.
In your years, have you seen that be the case, though? You get to your 15th, 16th game, and you see some guys that just say, man, I wish this would get over with, even though this is your job.
Not very often. It's tough to look back and see mindsets. Obviously, when you're a part of a team that's had some tough seasons, I mean, it's not the same as a team that's getting ready to go into the playoffs. But I think for the most part, everybody understands that this is our profession, and they also everybody in here is usually pretty self-motivated, and that means that you prepare and you go play every game the same exact way. So usually it's not a problem, but I just think, obviously when something like this happens, it's going to bring up that kind of talking point. So it's something that we're all going to have to kind of look and stare right at and meet head on, because obviously it's something that people want to know and how we react to it. So I think you always have to answer those questions and therefore deal with it in some way. I think there's enough guys on this team that are playing for something and have a lot to prove and have their own motivations. So I think that helps.
Joe, Anthony was just telling us about his back spasms, which can be pretty bad. Have you ever dealt with those in your career?
Not spasms, but I did miss one training camp due to an issue in my back. So,
Joe, in this offense, how important are those deep shots to Alec, and how comfortable do you feel, hitting him up in the deep game?
I think in every offense, you want big plays. I think the problem is when you go hunting them blindly, and that's all you want to do. So, I think the biggest thing to do as an offense is focus on being good at what we do, and no matter what that is. And when you become a good offense, when you protect well, when you run the ball well, when you catch the ball well, when you run disciplined routes, those big plays just happen to come. So I think ultimately, my philosophy, as I'm trying to say, is get good. Get really good at all the little things, and the big plays will come. I think the other kind of side of that people can kind of get caught up in is explosive plays mean you're a good offense. So let's try to be explosive, and then we'll be good. And I kind of think the other way. Let's be good, and we'll be explosive because of that. So I obviously those plays are important. They're important for everybody, but I don't think it's something that you force. I think you play your game, and there's going to be a handful of times where you get shots, and when they come up, make them.
This has been a huge season of growth for Alec. I talked with him earlier in the week just about establishing the trust with the quarterback yourself, whether it's Anthony, and he just said he really prides himself on the consistency. What stands out to you about Alec and what he's been able to do this season and gain that trust from you?
Yeah, I've been impressed by watching him work. He shows up every day. And he just goes out there. And some weeks, maybe he's not targeted a lot, and he still goes out there and does his job. And in other weeks, he shows up. Last time we played Jacksonville, he didn't have very many touches, maybe not any. And then at the end of the game, he has a handful of big catches. So I've been impressed by the way he shows up and goes to work every day. And I'm also just impressed, obviously, by the athlete he is and the talent he has. So I think he's done a lot for himself.